As I attempted to get the perfect eyeball while also creating a cute and Instagrammable journal page, I soon realized that my drawing was grainy and unrealistic. Usually I like a bit of grain, but an eyeball is not supposed to be grainy. It's almost like glass. I can't have a grainy eyeball. I realized it was not only my technique, but the paper that I was using sucked. Too many ridges. So I looked through my humble and limited sketchbook collection to find an Instagrammable journal with the right balance of ridges and smoothness to attain this goal. And I found it. So let's get started with this tutorial. Of course, I did a practice eyeball, and it looks pretty good, so I'm here to recreate it. I will link my reference in the description below, so check that out if you're looking for some eyeballs to draw. Anyways, let me clarify, an eye is not white. It might look white, but it's not. Here I have 14 colors, and this is not including the pupil. Extremely excessive, but worth it. Obviously, I used white and then ended up transitioning it to the grays and beiges and reds and darker grays and then almost black. If you notice, I included the mixture of peach and henna as its own separate color because I use it as such. So I suggest you do the same. So let's begin drawing. So I begin with the iris, just laying down the colors that I think fit best, leaving a lot of highlights because, as I said before, eyeballs kind of look like glass, and glass definitely isn't matte, so don't treat it like that. Irises are kind of complicated because not only do they have a lot of colors, but their colors are quite sporadic and there's a lot of variation in where the curves and placement of the highlights go. So I used a reference, but I didn't follow it perfectly, and I don't suggest following it perfectly too because you're probably not going to attain that goal and you're just going to get disappointed. But if you follow the basic outline of what the picture and the shapes and the shadows are, then you'll get a relatively good product. I'm just making sure to layer those colors like I do with every single drawing that I do. Layering is super important, and just leaving those black colors, those darker colors for last. Ooh, different camera angles. Now I'm working with the actual ball part. I start with the lightest gray and I start making myself out. The lightest gray, that's kind of supposed to be like the white. Like I said before, eyeballs are not supposed to be white, so the only places that I leave perfectly white are the highlights that I left alone. Now when doing the veins, I go light but dark enough so that I can retrace them once I've done more shading. They're kind of sporadic as well, and I just keep them random, but try not to overdo them. Right now they look kind of crazy, but once I add the other colors, they'll look a lot more in place. Now I'm beginning to add those darker grays, and forgive me for not having the drawing in the center. But stuff happens, just follow my voice. Throughout the drawing, I keep retracing those red lines when I feel like they're fading out and just continuing to build up that color. Now I have that color sea green in my hand, which is the best color for eyes. It's the perfect greenish and bluish color, and I love it so much. And I apply that as the base. That's my last gray color that I use. Of course, I add more grays, but when adding the base. And now I have that colorless blender in my hand, which is, if you don't know, it's God's gift from heaven. You should buy this after you finish watching the video. This helps me so much. And now I have my jelly pen, which helps to add more highlights, and it's super cheap, and it's a good trick to use on drawings that have a lot of white points. You can just go over it over the white color pencil and it works pretty good. And now I'm tracing the ball with a black pen because I think it looks cleaner. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. And that's my finished eye. I added some calligraphy and some badly drawn eyes to the other page for the aesthetic, but that's the drawing. As always, feel free to ask me any questions in the comment section, and please watch some of my other videos. I plan on posting every Wednesday from now on, so you can subscribe to check those out. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you here again.